Okay, so today we are going to be working on, today we're working on operations with integers. So yesterday we talked about adding and subtracting. Today we're going to be talking about multiplying and dividing. The rules for multiplying and dividing are a lot easier than adding and subtracting. So very quick, very easy, and then just like yesterday, when we finish with this video, you can move on to start working on your homework. Okay, rules for multiplying integers. Very quick, very easy. If you have the same sign, two positives multiplied together, two negatives multiplied together, your answer is always positive. If your signs are different, one positive, one negative, your answer is always negative. So using those two rules, I have 5 times negative 12. You do want to be doing these in your head. You're not using your calculator. Otherwise, that would eliminate the whole purpose of these lessons. So 5 times negative 12. I have a different sign, so my answer is always negative. So I can just fill that sign in, and then if we have to go towards the side to do some scratch work, if you don't know what 5 times 12 is, go through your multiplication. 5 times 2 is 10, carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5, add another 1, and we get 60. So we get negative 60. Another little brain help to help you do these mental math problems in your head. I'm multiplying 12 by 5. In my head, I know that 12 times 10 is 120. If 5 is half of 10, then my answer is going to be half of 120, which would be 60. Just a little mental math tip. Okay. For the second one, I'm multiplying two numbers with the same sign, so my answer is always going to be positive. Negative 7 times negative 7, that's going to give me 49. For the next one, same as we did yesterday. If you have more than two numbers, just move right to left, taking two numbers at a time and simplifying them. So my first two numbers here, I have negative 10 times negative 3. Anytime your sign is the same, your answer is always going to be positive. So that's going to give me positive 30, and then I'm going to bring down that 20 because I didn't use that yet. 30 times 20 gives me 600. Same over here, multiply them through. So I have negative 5 times negative 5. That gives me positive 25. Now I'm going to multiply this by negative 15. I know that a positive times a negative is always going to be negative. And then if we need to do some scratch work over on the side, we can also do that. So I'm going to do 25 times 15. 5 times 5 gives me 25. Carry the 2. That gives me 10 and 12. Bring my 0 down as a placeholder. And then I have 1 times 5 and 1 times 2. Add them together. And I get 375. What's important here to be careful of is when I get to a step like this, or if I'm writing something down like this, if I don't bring something down in parentheses like I did here, for example, if I would have just written this as 25 times negative 15, and then I started thinking about something else and coming back to this, notice that it looks like a subtraction problem. So we don't want to mess that up and get confused. Always make sure that you're writing your answers and your numbers in parentheses whenever you're bringing them down. Okay, so very easy. Signs are the same, always positive. Signs are different, always negative. That works the same whenever we go into dividing. If I'm dividing two positives or two negatives, my answer is always positive. If I'm dividing a positive and a negative number, it's always going to be negative. So looking at my examples here, I have 15 divided by negative 3. My signs are different, so my answer is going to be negative. 15 divided by negative 3, negative 5. If my signs are the same, my answer is going to be positive. So I'm only ever thinking about those signs in the very beginning. And then when I go to actually do the math work, I'm just doing regular multiplication and division in my head. 7 divided by 7, 1. Over here, be careful that you don't think about it too fast. I have negative 10 divided by 20. So a positive divided by a negative is always going to be negative. And then I have 10 over 20, which is going to be negative 1/2. So be careful you're not going through it too quick. Some of you will see the 10 and the 20 and write your answer as 2. Just take your time to make sure you're noticing when that smaller number is on top. Over here, we're going to move right to left. I have negative 5 divided by negative 5. Two negatives make a positive. So now I'm going to have positive 1 divided by negative 15. Well, I can't simplify that any further, so my final answer is going to be negative 1 over 15. Okay, so there you have it. Those are your rules for multiplying and dividing positive and negative numbers. much simpler than adding and subtracting. All you have to remember is that when your sign is the same, it's always positive. When your sign is different, it's always negative. So go ahead, start working on those homework problems. If you're a little bit stuck, always send me an email, and the Google Meeting room is going to be open tomorrow morning for study hall if you want to pop in for some questions.